So I was waiting a little bit for other participants to join with this session.
Okay.
In the meantime, I'm going to share my screen first. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Should we get started now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to start right now. So
Okay.
first of all, I would like to say thank you so much for joining this session. I know you guys have many options to go for. So once again, thank you so much for selecting this session and join with us today. So
okay. Good afternoon, our presenters and participants. Welcome to the Virtual Viet TESOL International Convention 2021. On behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to thank you so much for your participation and contribution to our annual convention success. We are Vanang and Tu Trang as a presentation the moderators. We are delighted to see all of you in the light of virtual presence today, especially in this parallel live oral workshop. And we do hope that all of you will be able to have some valuable knowledge and experience as takeaways following the talk. Before the presentations, there are a few considerations. In case you have any questions or concerns about the presentation, please feel free to leave them in the chat box so that we can gather the questions for easy response in the 5 or 10-minute Q&A session. And today, we gladly welcome Mr. Do Nhan in this 150-minute parallel live oral workshop, which is entitled Simple Ways to Gamify Our Online Live Lessons. Please welcome Mr. Do Nhan.
all right. Thank you, Van, so much for introducing me. And once again, thank you guys for spending your Friday afternoon to join with me for this session. I hope that you're going to learn many valuable knowledge, and I will try my best to share with you what I know about how to gamify the online lesson. So a quick introduction about me. My name is Harry. My Vietnamese name is Nhan, it's been patient. And I graduated from Cambridge University. In the past, I worked for Zalo as a product marketing manager. And after that, I moved to an edtech company from Indonesia called Ranguru. It's one of the largest edtechs in South Asia. Into 2018, I also established a company called Tutoring, which focus on teaching English for young learners aged from 6 to 12 years old, living in like suburban area. And tutoring is also was also featured on some tech magazines such as like Tech in Asia. At the moment, I also works as a strategy director for Classing in Vietnam. So that's a little bit background about me. So you can get a picture about who is this guy talking to you. All right, so let's talk in a bit about Classing, because in this session today, most of my content will build on Classing. I know nowadays we have different tools to teach online. We could use Zoom, we could use Google Meet, Microsoft Teams. Many teacher, we can use Google Classroom, or if your university or your school have their own learning management system, such as like Canvas or Moodle or Blackboard. We have so many tools, different tools to teach online nowadays, and then Classing is one of them. So what makes Classing is different from other platform is we design for for education. We know like Zoom and Teams and Meet is quite really popular for many teachers to teach. However, originally those platforms were designed for online meeting. So so that is the reason why Classroom was born, because Classroom was the only one platform designed for education for teacher who would like to create the interaction and engagement when they teach online. So in short, you can imagine Classroom is similar, like a combination of Zoom, Google Classroom, and Zalo together, and it's just one-stop shop solution. You don't need to like switch between multiple software or tools to teach online. Now you can have one place, only one platform to do that for you. So that is a quick overview to our Classroom, and because as the names of the tool, we know a class is not a meeting. Therefore, we design based on the basic principle is how to make the online classroom just like the offline classroom. So 90% what you can do in the offline classroom, you can do on Classroom. So that is the basic value proposition that Classroom can offer to our teacher, the student and educator. So there's some client that we are serving in Vietnam market at the moment. Technically, Classroom works with most of our clients are leading education company or leading our university. Classroom quite a little bit picky, because it requires skilled and investment to start. So currently we not really a massive audience platform, but we target into like a top level education companies such as like ISB from UEH, Ho Chi Minh University of Technology and Education, University of Technology. We work with some private tutoring companies like Yola, Học Mãi, Techie, EduBR, Vui Học, and some other biggest players on like young learner education, such as like Pop Kids. We also partner with many local companies like Pearson offers University Press, British Council, and popular MS like Canvas, Blackboard, and Moodles, and at the same time, we in Asia markets we are also serving like One Just English education first. I can read, etc. Currently, Classroom was established its presence in 150 countries, and we are serving 20 million students every month. So this is a quick overview of our Classroom. Last year in 2020, Classroom was nominated at top 50 global edtech. So that is something I would like to introduce with you guys about Classroom, and because the platforms that I mostly use today, Classroom, and most of content were built on this platform as well. However, don't worry if you don't have Classroom, because I will try to suggest some alternative that you can use to perform the same action. Of course, it will take time and inconvenient for you when you need to use different tools. But however, there's still also an option for you. If you don't use Classroom, you can use other tool to achieve the goal of gamification online. So yeah, let's start a bit with eye-breaking activity, because I would like to learn a little bit about you guys. Want to learn more about the birds on the audience gonna listen and join the session with me today. So I would like to share the link in the chat box. So this is Mentimeter. So could you tell me a bit about where are you from? So please have a look at the link I share in the chat box. Could you open it and you can type the answer, like where you get from. Oh, okay, Ho Chi Minh City, Vĩnh Long, Sóc Trăng. All right. Yes, most of them in okay, Cambodia, Hanoi, okay, Laos, okay, Long An. Yeah. Wow. So like Nghệ An. Okay. All right. Interesting. And okay. Okay. I see. So the location is really diverse. Beside Nghệ An, where Vinh University is the host of the TESOL conference this year, we also welcomes many participants from Cambodia, from Laos, from India, and also the participants from the South Vietnam, like Vĩnh Long or Ho Chi Minh City or Long An as well. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. All right, so the next question I would like to know more is which grade are you teaching now? So, okay, so could you tell me a bit like your like teachers for kids segment or higher education or K-12? So I can customize my presentation based on your background. All right, 5%, 6% from higher education. Okay, and like 5 people from K-12. Okay, all right. So higher education and K-12 is quite the most popular one. For others, if you can click on the Mentimeter link that I share on the chat box, okay, you can vote, and so that I can know, okay, the background, and I share the relevant information with you. Okay, so I think that's on for the people who joined Mentimeter. Okay. All right, thank you QT for your sharing about classing. All right, some teacher may teach more than one group. Okay, all right. Okay, nice. All right. Thank you for your input. So I understand a little bit about the background of our audience. Technically, because because of my previous experience and because of what I'm doing at the moment as the fathers of tutoring, the platform for online tutoring for kids. Therefore, the content today a little bit. I use many examples from English for young children. But however, I know that some guys also teach K-12. There's some teachers that are also teaching at higher education. Therefore, I try to diversify the content a little bit. Okay, so yeah, let's start with the first one. Okay. All right. So yeah, we start because it's a quite academic workshop. So we start with a framework, a theory frameworks. This is the kind of learning. So this framework is talking about what is the knowledge retention based on different type of learning. So if we from the pyramid right here, you can see if we teach the students based on something like e-learning models or mobile learning. So the activity that most the student do gonna be reading, right? And the problem, so after 2 weeks, our student more likely to forget what they read, and they only just pretend maybe 10% of what they read. So how we can increase the knowledge retention, and how we can make the class is fun and engaging. So we can move down to the bottom of the pyramid, and we can see if we include instructor-led training. It means we have live person to join the session. the student more likely to remember 30% of what they see, right? And if we make the content is more like visual, like they can watch animation, they can watch a movie, they can watch in a demonstration, they can see it done in location. So they're more likely to remember 50% of what they see or hear. And of course, one of the best way to help a student retain the knowledge better is encourage students to participate in a discussion or let them to give a talk, because as the study showed, like the student will remember 70% of what they already say and share or they already discussed. And the best one to help a student to retain or earn the knowledge is like they can do the presentation, they can work in practice doing the real thing, because they're more likely to remember 90% of what they do. And by doing that, we can make it by different activity. Like we can give them an exercise, we can give them the labs, we can create a communities where they can have opportunity to do the right thing. And one of them is gamification. Okay, so one of them is gamification. So in short, the gamification is more likely to help the student to remember the knowledge point better than the other ways, according to the different study. And in addition, gamification also encourage the student to engage in the class more than just like one-way presentation. Just like what I'm doing right now is a little bit one way. So you guys could be distracted or do something else. So I try to engage you more with the activity in the upcoming minute. Okay, so yeah, that is the summaries of the theory framework. So the gamification is, in short, is more likely to help the student to retain the knowledge, remembers what they learned better, and also one benefit of gamification is make the class engaging. What is the most problems that's many teachers when they teach online they experience or they suffer from. So when everyone they move online, normally they bring the knowledge of their offline classroom, the slide, the content, everything of the offline classroom to online, and as a result, it's not work, because the student have different environment. They can study at home, they can study with you and then watch YouTube on their mobile phone, right? Or they can study with you at the same time talking with their family members. So the environment is really totally different, and the battle, the war to earn to get attention from a student becomes more challenging than ever. So gamification somehow is also the way for you to engage a student, help the student to find lessons more interesting. And also at the end of the day, is we have to improve the effectiveness of the lesson. So gamification in general is we use the game element in non-game contests, such as like teaching contests. We use the game of thinking, the game logic, the game mechanic in the non-game context to engage the students solving the problems. And we can, with gamification, it can help to motivate and engage the pupil to achieve their goals. So that is the definition of gamification. So we make the lesson, the content, just like the games, in order to encourage and motivate the student to engage more, and also they can retain the knowledge better. So there's different case study showing how gamification works, and one of the most popular one is Duolingo. So Duolingo is the unicorn this Duolingo is a unicorn in ed tech industry. The unicorn is a company which its valuation is more than $1 billion. So how Duolingo they engage the student to learn on their platforms? As you know, Duolingo help the student to learn different languages like English, Japanese, Chinese, and even Vietnamese. So how they can keep their user to engage with their lesson? No teacher, right? So normally the completion rate is going to be dropped significantly. So how they do that? When it comes to the completion rate, do you guys have an idea like what is the completion rate of the these MOOC or courses? Second, do you guys have an idea what is the completion rate of MOOC courses, such as like Coursera, Udemy, etc. So you can share your thought in the chat box so I can see what you think. How many percent will complete the cost on those platforms like Coursera, Udemy? What do you think? So you can share your idea, your opinion on the chat box so I can see. All right. I never heard of it. Okay, Miss Hoa, 90 to 10%, to 100%. Okay, nice. I have no idea, so please go ahead. Okay, Kala Bonar Naslar, 50%. Okay, and AV Châu Thành, 80%. Okay, nice. All right. Okay, so you know, with no teacher, no live session, just posting the video, just post videos, okay, and then the student will learn by themselves. The like what Coursera, Udemy, or Ludo site they offer. So the completion rate is about 7%. Yep, it's pretty low compared to 80 or 90% that you think, because normally the course can have about like 40 to 50 videos, and a student they can watch first one or two videos. After that they quit the course, they didn't continue their learning anymore. So this is a challenge for Duolingo as well. This is also a challenge for Duolingo because they don't offer the live tutoring, right? They don't have any real live teacher. So how they can help the student stay with their platforms, how they can encourage the student keep learning, how they can maintain the motivation, the morals of the student. So they use like the thing we call gamification. So every time when you complete a lesson, you will get an XP. Okay, and you can earn a currency called Blink Lot by like completing an exercise or have to answer other questions from other students on a community platforms. So there's different way for them to earn the currency, and by having this currency, they can do some like purchase on Duolingo store. They can buy skin, they can buy the items on those ones, and they also have the point system and the leaderboard. So you can see who is the rank, your ranking in your country, or your ranking compared to other players. And every time when you complete, when you complete one milestone, you can earn badges, like a little thing like this one. So it will recognize your achievement and then encourage you to achieve higher levels. And they also create many challenges for the user, such as like you need to they challenge you to keep learning within 7 days non-stop. So they encourage you to log into the system every day. Otherwise, they will just remove or delete on your previous achievement, for example, like that. So they can create different type of gaming activity to encourage the user to keep using their platform. Why? Because when you complete one activity, you get a reward, and it stimulates the motivation, and it stimulates competitive spirit. Why? Because I know there's one guy living in another country. His level is level 5. I would like to outperform this level. I would like to be like in higher level than him. So I try. So it's a good way to motivate the student to learn. And every time when the student they achieve a specific milestone, they celebrate it. They give the trophy, they give them a trumpet, they give them the badge, give them the score system, and that's the ways how Duolingo maintain the retention rate on their platforms, and keep the student to stick with this platform for longer times compared to other platform. So based on that, you can understand a little bit about the gamification mechanic, right? So you turned the content, the digital content into a games, and you have a reward system to encourage the student to complete activity and earn the reward, and how you can recognize achievement of the student. That's something that you can have a roughly idea about gamification. So that is a case study. Now we're going to deep dive. Now we can deep dive into how we can gamify our online classroom on Classroom or different platforms. So in order to do that, there's 3 main principles that I need you guys to understand. The first one is student-centric mindset. Okay, so why it's important? Because like normally if we use the traditional way of teaching, just like me doing at the moment when I share and you can listen, right? You likely to distracted really fast. Maybe your attention will lose after 10 or 15 minutes. So how to engage, interact with the student, how to build the content based on the student is one of the things that you need to keep in your mind, and let the student be in the active participant in your classroom. It's not just the listener, not just the audience, but they also the one who involved in the lesson, help you to build a lesson and participate in the lesson with you. So the student-centric is the first thing. We know it's really comfortable when you talk, because you have a lot of knowledge, you have a lot of thing you do research a lot, so you have a lot of things to share. But unfortunately, your student is not like that. So they can easily to get bored, and especially when the environment is also different. So the distraction is also distraction level is also increased. Therefore, the first one you need to bear in your mind, okay, how I can involve my student into my lesson. In other words, how to have, you should have the student-centric mindset. So not just like one way to deliver the lesson, but thinking about how I can involve my student in my lesson. So you can have different type activity to involve a student, like you create a different games or questions to let the student to answer it is also a thing. The second one is you need to create a safe and democratic environment. It's how to, it's how to be let the student feel free to share their opinion, and that student to feel free and feel safe to raise the idea. They don't feel they don't feel stupid when they talk, they ask something that they did not know. So soft and democratic environment is also the thing that you need to have in order to, before you're thinking about gamify the online classroom. And plus one is practice, like not just listen, but need to do, like, because according to previous frameworks we have, the student is more likely to remember what they learned by doing things, by doing a practical thing. So that is three main principles before we will start to design the gamification for your classroom. We need to think, okay, how I can let my students involve more. I don't want to talk for 2 hours and then I quit the class. I will die soon, right? If I talk too much like that. So how I can let my student to talk more, how I can let a student to do, like, spend a lot of time in the class, do from different activity. I don't want to talk too much, but let my student talk, let my student do activity. And how, in order to do that, how let them to feel comfortable, feel free to share, to do. I don't let them to feel insecure or feel stupid when they asking some question that they don't know. So that is also a bruise for a critical success factors that you need to consider if you want to gamify the last room successful. And the last one is it should be relating to, like, the balance between theory and practical skill set. Let them to practice more, to doing more, not just like listening. All right. So so in order to gamify, that's one. We have a framework that called learning gamification framework by Copeland, and by this framework we have 3 different levels. The first one is content gamification. It's mean how we can gamify the content. Okay, so make the content into a game. How we do that? Okay, the second one, the level 2, is system gamification. So how we can design a system to have the gamification keep going. Why is it important? Because, just imagine you had a content, you create a games, you encourage the student to join, such as, like, we have Kahoot and encourage the student to join Kahoot, right? And we have some winner and we celebrate, and that's it. That's just for one lesson. But what happens for the next lesson and the next lesson and for the rest of the semester? So that's why the system gamification, they jump in, they plays a role for keep the gamification consistent and meaningful and relevant. It's not just you gamify, you create a fun games today, and those results will, like, nothing to apply in the future. So the level 2 is how you can keep the gamification sustainable with the system. And the level 3 is, okay, how to measure your learning gamification method. So we design different activity, we design different games for our class. We maintain it, we keep doing that. But the final outcome is whether my student achieve the learning outcome that I want them to achieve. So the level 3 is thinking about the measurement, the prime measurement, your teaching activity. Like for example, we teach English, we're talking about whether my student improve their vocabulary, whether my student they improve the pronunciation, whether my student improve their speaking, their writing skill, and if they improve, so how do I know it? So that is 3 things, that 3 levels that Copeland they suggest on how to gamify the learning activity. So in this session, I'm gonna focus more on level 1 and level 2. Okay, so let's go with level 1 first. Let's go with level 1 first. All right, so for examples right here, I have two content right here. There are two words right here, socks and clubs. All right, so how I can make these knowledge interesting to my student? Okay, if I just told my student, hey, this one's pronounced socks, class, repeat after me, socks, for example, like that, and then move on. So this is one way, but how we can make it funnier and more engaging? Okay, so that is a question for you. So I'm gonna share with you one slide, Padlet. So you can open the link that I share. Okay, you can open the link that I share in chat box. You open it, as we open the website, you can type, you can input your idea. Okay, what activity, what content type, what activity, what games we can do to gamify for example, these two vocabulary. So how we can make like teaching those vocabularies is more is funnier. So you guys can can open the Padlet.com link that I share on chat box, and you can input your thought. So I can give you guys about 3 minutes to working on that. Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys 3 minutes. Please help me to open the link that I share on chat box, and then you can input your thought, your opinion about, okay, we have two vocabularies like this, socks and clubs. How we can gamify, how we can make it apply games in this context. Okay, so just open the link and share your idea with me. In the meantime, I'm reading it. All right, so I see 2 persons already share. What time means student run to pick their socks? Okay, nice. Matching words with picture or definition. Okay, nice. It's also really brilliant. Drop the right picture to the right vocabulary. Interesting. Okay, drop and drop games. Okay, interesting. What else? There any other ideas how we can apply the games in this context? Coloring the picture of the sock and the lobs. Wow, interesting. Nice. Creative. Handman. Okay. That's right. Okay, what else? Okay, so we have 1 minute and 30 seconds left. You guys just feel free to share your thought. Okay. We have drag and drops right here. We have time means, we have matching, we have handman, we have coloring. What else you can do to create the activity for this vocabulary? Okay, one more. All right. Rearrange the letter to make the words. Okay. Make some 2 lines of poems on each and then drop and drops. Matching words with pictures on with easy and ranking them. Okay. All right. So fill in the blank. Okay. Nice. Word search. Interesting. Okay. I think we have many interesting ideas for this one. Okay, thank you time is up. Time is up. Now, I need you guys to spend three more minutes to help me. All right. Now we have an idea. Okay, I'm gonna do matching. I'm gonna do like fill in the blank. I'm gonna do word search, right? So how I can let all of my students do that online, right? So fill in the blank. How I can handle my assignment to my student. How I can let all my student to participate in the activity online, right? Because remember to the principle on that I shared previously, we need to have a student-centric mindset, right? So what tools or what teaching tools that we can use to organize the activity? So please share with me on the second part of the same Padlet. I just opened a new session, which what tools can we use to do that? All right. So I'm gonna give you guys about 2 or 3 minutes to share. Near popped live worksheet. Okay. Visit work one. Use a random website that provide a tool to create one. Visit Kahoot Quizlet. Okay. So Kahoot and Quizlet is quite useful for fill in the blank, right? For multiple choice question, right? So does it support for drop and drops? How about drop and drops? Or rearrange the letter to make the word, for example, something like that. So any idea, any tool that will help us to do drop and drops or rearrange letters? Okay, worksheet, PDF, and let student color it. Okay. Interesting. But how for worksheet and PDF, how can we get the submission like that? They will send a submission in chat box or what? So the teacher who ties worksheet, PDF, and let student color it could give more like elaborate more about it. Like I am not sure about the ways how we can get the submission from the student. Jamboard, okay, Jamboard, yeah, brilliant. I send a worksheet and ask student to share the screen. Oh, okay, nice, cool. All right. So yeah, I think I got quite many answers from you guys. We have different ideas. We have different tones to do it. Okay. So now that's my turn to share something that we could do. Okay. Yeah, you totally right. You totally right. With one word, with those words right here, we can create different games in order to teaching the content. The first one that I could do is you can use Kahoot, right? You can use Kahoot. You can use Quizzes to create a games for the student to choose. Or for example, on Classrooms, I can totally create a game like this one. I have a question. I can place the audio and ask my student which one is correct. So it's just like multiple choice question. 1 second, I need to make sure that I already shared my audio. Okay, I need to turn this off. All right. So for examples right here, this is Classroom, and second. Okay, so for example, right here on Classroom, like you mentioned, you can create a wish from the student to remember. So you can store. I will start.
All right, class. Remember, for this game, you have to listen and choose the right answer. Which box has socks? Socks.
Okay, so I can deliver the question to my student, and my student can answer on the platform just like you can do with quizzes, with Quizlet, with Kahoot. That's what you can do. But I remember for Kahoot or quizzes, if we have more than 25 students, we need to use like Kahoot Premium to use, right? So the more tools that we use, we're gonna have many limitations we need to pay. So please bear in your mind about it. All right. So right here on Classroom, that's the activity I prepare in advance of Classroom. So I share to my student. I got the answers in real time. I know how many students he answer, and I can know which one he answer, which one he not. And okay, I asked them to answer again. So the three students already answered, and they got the results right here. Okay, so the next one is, you know, when I press enter answer. When I press enter answers, the student couldn't answer anymore. And then, you know, when a student answer correctly on Kahoot or Quizlet, we can give them the reward, right? We can read them the reward. So on Classroom, similarly, we have a reward system to give them. So it's right here, there one trophy button. I click on it. Just would like to make sure that you can see my screen. You guys actually see my screen? I think not, right? I think not. Once again. All right. Can you see my screen again? Yeah. Sorry. I turned off, and then I think I shared wrong screen. All right. So let me do it again. Let me do it again. With the first one. Okay, you can gamify the content with multiple choice. You can use Kahoot, you can Quizlet, you can Quiz Easy, whatever. Bear in your mind, it means the student need to open another browser, and then those platforms also some limitation about the numbers of participants who can join the activity. All right, so click on start.
All right, class. Remember, for this game, you have to listen and choose the right answer. Which box has socks? Socks.
Okay, so I can store the question and ask my student to submit it. And at the same time, I can get the real-time result, how many students already make it, submit the answer, which one is not. So it's right here, for example, I know that one student in my class have an answer yet, so I can shout out her name. Nam, please help me to complete the activity. Okay, please pay attention, because I know, okay, this student is not really focused on the lesson. So I will call out her name and ask her to perform an activity. All right, and then I can see which student answer. Which one is the fastest one, which one is the slowest one, whether it's correct or not. I can ask my student to come and explain why you choose this option, because, you know, we need to create a safe and democratic environment for the student to play the games. Even though I know she was wrong, but I would like to listen to her explanation. Maybe she have a different idea. Okay, so then I press end of answer to finish, and then the next one for gamification is reward, right? So how we can reward the student, right? Because on Kahoot or which is they get a scoring system, right? And so how we can make the scoring system standardized and unified in one platform. So for example, on Classroom, when the student performs something correctly, I will give them a trophy. Okay, I'll give them a trophy. For example, right here, I will reward on the participating student. No matter the answer correct or incorrectly, I will reward them. Okay, or I can have another option, reward correct answer student only. So just the one who participate the quiz and have a correct answer can get the reward, because I want to encourage the student to participate more. So I will just reward on the student. And then you can see right here that we have one little trophy. This little trophy is right here. It indicate that this student got one trophy. And then, you know, the reward system is quite help me to give the trophy or reward to the student, not just for the wish, but if they answer my question verbally, and I think, okay, that's correct, I can also give a trophy to them as well. So by doing that, you know, I have one reward system to determine the ranking between different students in class. So it's right here, I click on a work list, and I can see the list of my students and the numbers of rewards they have right here. We have a leaderboard to see which one is performed. All right. So yeah, you can use Kahoot, Quizlet, of course, to do. Okay, but the point right here is besides activity, we also need to have the standardized reward system. So not just for this activity, but also for other activity. For example, if we have Kahoot, so beside quiz activity, if they do something else like coloring, how I can give rewards to them. So that is one thing that you need to consider, like have a standardized rewards for different activity is also important. And then, okay, we can have like drop and drops activity. So for example, right here, I have a question, right? I have questions right here. So I can let my student to drop and drop, okay? Do activity like drop and drop. You can use work wand, you can use book widget. It's also a tool that you can use. We have hundreds attack tools that what we can play around. In this case, on Classroom, I'm using one thing we call Blackboard. So I can choose the student to do the activity. For example, one student, they raise their hand, and I can authorize this student, and the students can see the pictures right here and can help me to drop and drop the right word to the blank. Right. So right here, the question is the lion is written on the sofa. So please choose the correct one and drops. Okay. Yep. Correct. And then if they answer correctly, I can like give the trophy to, you know, reward the positive action to reinforce this action, encourage other student. You know, for example, like this student just have one trophy and that student have two trophy already. So this student will feel, I need to get the same trophy like my classmate. So they will have a motivation to jump in the challenge as well. And then I can just authorize them. So when they authorize, they can just move the objects or something around on the board. So it just this one is actually the blackboard where the student and teacher, a different student in the class and teacher can collaborate together. You can use, if you don't have Classroom, you can use something like whiteboard from MS Team. You can use Miro. This is a standalone whiteboard. You can use Lucid Chart, for example. So you can use Google Jamboard. It's also a thing that we can use to create the activity. Why it matter? Why drop and drops matter? Why don't just count my student? Hello QT, what is the correct answer? Why I don't do that? But why I ask them to drop and drop? Because I want them to do everything they want. I want them to move their body, right? I need to do. Do they use their hand? They can stand up. They can run around. They can have the energy. I want them just sitting there. I want to do some activity. Their mouth, the hand accessory is need to move. By doing that, they will be more focused than just I call that person and that's an answer. It's okay, but you know they will be more sleepy if they keep doing the same thing over and over. So we need to diversify the content as well. Okay, and coloring. Yeah, coloring. We can not just you know give the multiple choice. It's not just like right or wrong, but remember the one principle that I mentioned before: safe and democratic environment. So I can create environment where my student can feel free to be creative. So I can allow them to coloring the socks. By doing that, they could remember the words better. So I could break the class into different rooms, and I assign. In this case, I will use one feature on Classroom we call small blackboard. I choose drawing board, okay, and I draw the picture here to their to the board, okay, and then there's one function for me. It's called hand down, okay. I press hand down. So now my student, they will get this picture and then they can start coloring on that. Okay, so all my students in my class, they have a tool already. So they can start coloring. I will know which student is do this task, which one is not. Because you know, if they're not, there are nothing's right here. If they do something like coloring, you will see I choose Classroom Hotlight, and I will see this person, he start to coloring. He start to color the sock. Okay, so you can see because I log in on a mobile phone for him, and I can do that one. I can start coloring the socks on mobile. Okay. Yes, in the meantime, I can check whether other student complete the task or not. If not, for example, like QT, she also start to be creative. She coloring different thing of the socks, and I know this student, my student Nhan, she wasn't there, right? So I will call her names. I bring her to Blackboard. I ask her, okay, hey, do you need any support or something? Like I can help you. So it's also the way that we know which student needs your help, and you can offer support to those person. Okay, so that's another activity like coloring. We don't just speak English, but we can incorporate some like music or art into our lesson in order to make the student to have something to do. It's not just sitting and listening, but need to like move their hand and give the energy for the online classroom. Okay, don't limit yourself to traditional style, but you can be creative. And this is also an activity that we can do to help the student to remember the words better by coloring. Okay, so I can see the submission of my student. I can give them the score or my reviewed. I can show the work of my student to the whole class. So that is also a thing that we could do. Yeah. So but this one again, you can use the tool that I mentioned, like MS whiteboard or Jamboard to achieve it. If you don't use Classroom, you can use some other whiteboard solution to do that one. Okay. And
hey class, for this next.
Okay, this one and we can make the games is more interactive. For example, we choose a random student on the class. We choose a random student on the class, and we choose a random student. Okay, I have QTs right here, and then I will play. I will press on the PowerPoint slide. This is just PowerPoint slide. I prepared animation in advance. I click on that.
I want you to look and say what you see. You can do it. First one up. Get ready. What's
okay? So I can do like make the slides more interactive. It's more like okay, as more like it's not just a show or slide to ask the student what is it, but also like got some animation to make the slides more interactive and also encourage the curiosity of my student and then feel like they need to wait, they need to do something to see the result. So that's also an examples that I could do, or I can make it into a game like this one. It's called Water Mode. Water Mode. Okay. So in this game, actually, I will create on PowerPoint. It's not like something hard to do. Not like any software you can make it on PowerPoint, and then you can let the student interact with the PowerPoint slide. So for example, when they click start.
First is the monster game, guys. Remember to listen and choose the right answers to get rid of those pesky monsters. I know you can do it. First one is glasses.
Okay, so they need to choose glasses fast, otherwise it will disappear. Otherwise the content will be disappear. So it answers examples of the gaming activity that you can incorporate the vocabulary into the games. So in these activities, they need to improve their listening skill, and at the same time they need to be fast, because if they react slowly, the picture will disappear, and then they couldn't click on that. So again, these games were created 100% on PowerPoint. However, because Classroom support interaction between the student and PowerPoint slide, if you use Zoom or Google Meet, you share screen, maybe they couldn't do that. So I suggest for this activity, let me think, we can use some other tools such as like H5B. H5B is open source platforms where you can create many games for free. So such as like I give you one games right here. I will share in chat box. Okay, I will share in chat box. 1 second. I'll share in chat box. Okay. Please check chat box. Will you see the link that I share with you? All right. Please check on that and open it. So there is a games. There's a games we call like memory games, right? So which require the student to
this game. Listen.
Let's me move. Okay, this one memory games. It's required a student to like memorize the word and matching the word together. So this one were created on H5P, is an open source platform. So I will share my screen. I think I will share my screen. It's right here. You can see it. If the one who haven't opened it, you can still see it. Okay, I think this one. Okay, this one. And you can see it's right here. It is a memory game. So I already teach knowledge, and it's just the words. Now, so I make it more engaging with this game. So click on this one, you can say, okay, this one is fast, and then I need to looking for the right vocabulary that's matching the verbs, the word with the image. So this one is not correct. So I find another one. This one is belt, and it's to find something. Vet. Okay. So vet and vest. It's right here. This one. This one, tie, okay, scarf. This one, okay. So you can play these games by click on the link that I share with you in in Jasbot. Okay, yeah. So that's it. I need turn the card 18 times to complete it. Okay, so that's the answer, an idea that you can do to gamify the content. All right. So now you guys on see the example. So what is the principle? What is the rules behind the game, the activity? What this one behind it? So it's simple. The basic principles that I would like to share with you is the first one is our students have really low attention span. For adult students, they could have like 2 or 3 minutes. They can focus on what you say. But for the younger learners, like kids, their attention span is just about 15 seconds to 30 seconds. So we need to break our learning point into small pieces. For example, just 1 to 2 vocabulary like that, but I can create 4 or 5 activity to reinforce the knowledge. So you can break the learning point into small pieces and let the student interact with the content continuously, right? And low working memory. Low working memory is mean, what does it mean? It means like their RAMs. You can refer like their RAMs, their random access memory card, their RAMs is low. So it means they couldn't remember too much within a short period of time. Therefore, we should use like space repetition to increase effectiveness. So space repetition, what does it mean? What is this idea? Okay, so this one is the thing that's Quizlet. If you use Quizlet, you maybe you used to see this one before, or if you use Duolingo, or if you use Duolingo or some other learning apps like Bushu or something, so that they use the techniques called space repetition. Okay, so what it actually is? It's mean, so if the student they answer this one correctly, let's move to number 2. Okay, so if they answer the question number 2 incorrectly, just move to level 3. Okay, just move to box 3, question number 3. After they answer box 3 correctly, we will return to question number 2 and repeat again. So why? Because if they answer question number 2 incorrectly, we give them the answer, right? We correct them, we show them the answer, and then we ask them to do it again. Maybe they will answer correctly on that time, but 2 minutes or 5 minutes later, we ask it again, they will not really remember. So space repetition is allow you to repeat some incorrect question not discontinuously. So let me try to paraphrase the definition of this one. Okay, so for example, one student answer question number 1 correctly. Okay, if they answer correct, just move them to the next one. Okay, and then if they answer question 2 correct or incorrect, I don't care. So just let them answer and move to number 3. Okay, and then let's move them to number 4. But then on number 4, I can decide something to make sure the student understand question number 2. So I can, when I finish question number 4, I can repair one question to examine the understanding of question number 2. So so I can make it for you right here. So this one, the first one, they for example, they pronounce the word sock correctly. So I'm gonna move to another word tie, and then I move to another word vest, and after that I repeat with socks. So it means when we design, we make sure that we repeat the learning points many times. Okay, so right here you see socks were repeated twice. The first one and the 4 times. So by doing that, you know, we help the student to increase their memories. Then we move on with another words like classes. We check the words classes. It's right here. Okay. And then we revisit tie, and then we move with another words like shoes, and then we revisit. We have a question to test whether the student to remember the word vest. Okay, you will see we will have a space, right? We will have a space to be the distance between 2 questions. So this way it's going to help the student to improve their working memory, like they remember the words better. Okay, so that's also the second rule that we can apply when we design the games. We diversify different questions to test the same knowledge. Okay, we can have like for the first one, for the first words, socks, I can have a multiple choice question, and then for the second time, when I want to test the vocabulary result again, I can let them to do like drag and drop. So I can diversify the question types in order to test the knowledge point socked, but I don't want to keep socked to the word socked together. Like I don't want to create multiple choice for socks, and then after that I do drag and drops immediately. I want to give them a space by showing other words, and after that I can design one question to test this word. So it's more effective than you do it continuously. Okay, and yeah, the last one, the student quite easy to get bored. So let's diversify the question types. So make it fun and engaging. So that is 3 basic principles that I would like to share with you guys about how we can design the games for non-gaming contests. Like these are the games for education contests. Okay, breaking the learning point into small pieces. Okay, we don't try to teach too much, but we should break it into a small piece. If the lesson have 25 minutes long, so we need to repair about like 20 to 15 to 20 activity. Okay, so you break your lesson into different activity, small activity. Yeah, and keep it short. Okay, the second one is because the student have low working memory, so we can use like space rotation to increase the memory effectiveness. And number 3, the student can easily get bored, so we need to diversify the question types in order to make them more interesting. It's not just it could be exciting when you play with easy for the first time, but then if you play it every lesson, the student can get bored, right? So how we can diversify the question is also a key thing that you need to consider when you design the games for your lesson as well. Okay, so you can do that with different tools. So right here you can use the PowerPoint, very simple tool and then popular tool to create the games for your lesson. On PowerPoint, I think you can start with animation. Let's start with animation. For example, if click into this picture, what audio will play, or you can click on this picture, something will show. So you can use animation to make your slides more interactive. On class scene, because class scene, they support the slide and then allow the student to interact with the slide. So this one is quite easy for the teacher to create games on Classroom, because you just do it on the PowerPoint slide and then the student can interact with the slide if they are authorized by the teacher. For other platforms, you use like Zoom or Microsoft Teams, I guess in that case, you can choose another platforms, such as, like I mentioned in advance, you can try which are FYP. Okay, so please visit fyp.com. You can learn about this one. It's free. It's also free. Or you can, I know so you have many options. You can choose like Pluspoint. It's also a thing that I guess that you can go for if you don't have Classroom. So Pluspoint is also a tool that you can use. But of course, the more tools you have to use, that your student need to like jingles between different platforms, and this could lead to the confusion and time consuming. So okay, and then and next one is this one is the multiple choice question that I used to share in advance, but I can make it you can make it more interesting by telling a story besides the games. Okay, we have knowledge, right? Knowledge we want to gamify, so we design activity, but we have the reward system, so we know how to reward just your student. For example, you use a trophy, you can use badges, you can use a point to reward your student. All right, but I would like to ask one more thing in design activity. You should have storytelling. What is it? What does it mean? If the student, we ask the student, hey, this one is sofa, this one is kitchen, this one is bedroom, this one is the living room, this one is kitchen, this one is bedroom. Okay, which one is correct? A, B, C. So somehow it's a little bit boring, right? So I can tell a story. I can make it more interesting by adding one thing. It's called storytelling. So I tell, hey, this cat, her name is Mimi, right? And she needs to like cross the river. So there are 3 bridges that she needs to choose. Please help Mimi to cross the river safely by choose correct bridge, for example, like that. So it's not just about like answering correct question, but it's about there's a mission, there's a vision. Oh, okay, I'm a hero. I will try to have this little cat to cross the bridge. So when we design the activity, we can make it fun and engaging by telling a story, like make up a story behind that. So that is the thing that I would like to share with you about like gamify the content. We not just design activity. Okay, this one gonna use how to say multiple choice question and to test the student, but we at the same time we can develop the story behind this activity to give the student the motivation to complete it. You answer correctly, you have the little cat to cross the bridge, and you are a hero. So everyone would like to be a hero, right? So that is something that you can add to your lesson, your online lesson, to make it more engaging. Okay. And similar, this one is just drop and drops activities. So I already share with you already. Okay. Kahoot is something that we can do as well. Okay. And yeah, engaging. So encourage the B2B collaboration is also a thing I really like when I gamify my classroom. So normally I encourage the competition between classmates. So I will rank it into different rooms, and I assign to different groups, and I ask them to complete one mission, one task, but they need to collaborate with each other in order to win the games. So I prepare the content already, so I just open it right here. Please wait for me. I open the content. I'm not sure whether you see my screen or not. I think not yet, right? Okay, one second. Okay, right here. Okay, so right here we have a series of activities right here. There's different kind of questions. We need the student to arrange the question into the correct orders. So we have 3 different questions right here. So I can rank my class into 2 groups, right? And then, okay, I ask them to compete with each other. Okay, I press start. So when I press start, all the students were redirect to different breakout rooms. And as you can see, it's right here on my screen. There is a group discussion. There's a group discussion. So this is the screenshot of their breakout rooms. So I can see what they're doing from the main classroom, and then I can instruct my student. To perform activity like drop and drops. So they need to collaborate with each other in different rooms in order to complete it. I give a time frame for them, such as like 1 minute or 30 seconds. So they need to collaborate with each other. They need to make it quick and fast. Otherwise, they don't have enough time, for example. And I can join different rooms if I want. For example, I join this room. I see the content. The content are already assigned to them on the system. Yeah. So they can start to work on this one. Okay. Yeah. Can hand pictures on the wall to have the ding dong to decorate their rooms. I can choose the right word to matching into to make the sentence. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So the record rooms is the interesting tool that I often use because it's we encourage the collaboration between the team members. So I normally, when you do the record rooms, you should prepare the words carefully first. Just like me, I prepare the content already, so that the student, when they was in the record rooms, they have something to do, and then. When I finish record rooms, I just press end the question and bring the words. So right here, I was bring the words that the student they just complete in room number 1. You can see it's right here to see how student in room number 1 they complete. Okay, so I can see their group result. They can present, they can share. And then based on that, I can give the feedback, a comment. Yeah, so that is also a thing that you can do with the breakout rooms to increase the collaboration between different classmates. Okay, so but in order to do this one effectively, you need to remember something. The first one is you prepare the content in advance. So I know many I know many teachers, they use the recurrence as a way to practice speaking. So you rent the rooms to different students in different rooms, and you let them to practice speaking with each other. And this is one way, but in gamification, you can make it into like group project where the student need to, for example, solve a problems, matching, or like writing, coloring, drawing, etc. Okay, so I use red columns for them to compete. Group 1 competes with group 2, group 2 competes with group 3, for example. Not just merely like is the way to let the student to practice speaking with each other, but also we can give them a project where they can solve it, and who is the fastest one could be the winner. Okay, and again we have the reward system. So if they complete it correctly or outstandingly, we can give them a trophy. At the end of the day, we can check the leaderboard to see who gets the most trophy. Okay, so here, remember, that is one way I encourage you guys to leverage red columns. So prepare the content in advance, okay, and give them the problems so that I can solve, and then we just on that. Okay, so that is the things related to red columns, and yeah, have a consistent reward system. So when they finish the work, we know how to we can see which one is the winner. Okay, because when you design a system, you need to have these mechanisms to determine the winner. Okay, because otherwise they will feel demotivated. So yeah, consistent reward system is the answer a recommendation for you to do. Okay, as a system that you can use for across the classes, across lessons, and throughout the semester. Okay, someone could ask me, "Hey, I have your classes, and I just wonder whether is there any platforms which could help me to do that." My answer is yes. We can have some we can have some other free resources for you to leverage this. For examples, right here, I gonna share with you one tool that I really love to do is Dojo. Okay, and one thing I really love to do is Dojo, because with Dojos I can give the feedback to my student for throughout the years, and it's simple to use. So I'm gonna show you guys. 1 second. Okay. Second, I need to share my screen. Okay, it's right here. Okay, so if you don't use Classroom and you want to have one consistent reward system for your class, you can consider Class Dojo. It's right here. So when the lesson is over, the lesson is finished, you can click on this one. You can give the feedback to the student. For example, like the student's really working hard. You can give a feedback to the student like really participating. She joins on activities that I teach, or you can give the feedback like, oh, okay, I ask one more skill. Okay, a skill. So I choose the skill I would like. Okay, so for example, this student they learned really well. Okay, so I can ask one skills like academic, and point value is 1. Okay, I press a skill. So now I can give the feedback to my student. Okay. then I can give feedback from my student. If they answer, they complete the task on time and correctly, I can also give the rewards to those students as well. Yeah, so that is how it's work. That's how it's work. So you can have, if you don't use Classroom, you can also have you can use Class Dojo to create a consistent reward system for the whole semester. Okay, so yeah, and then on Classroom, actually we can have badges. You can give the badge to the students when they complete the task, or you can give a trophy to the student when they finish the lesson, for example, like this one. Okay, so that is something I would like to share about gamification. In short, we can see it's right here. Right here, so we can see something that drop ups the what I share. Okay, the first one you can see when we gamify, we need to, because the student is low attention span, right? Attention span. So we need to raise the knowledge point, raise the knowledge into smaller pieces. The second one is because they have low working memories, mean they couldn't remember too many things in a short time period. So you can increase the effectiveness with space repetition. So it means when you design the games, you need to know to repeat and revisit the previous knowledge many times to increase the effectiveness of the games. Okay, because we don't just create the games to make it fun, but also need to be effective. So which are space repetition, like we diversify the questions, we revisit, remind the knowledge point many times, we have the student remember longer, and then easily get bored. Okay, we know, if we place the same games or the same platforms for many times, that the student can get bored. So we need to diversify the question type. Okay, such as like, okay, not just multiple choice, not just quiz, but we can create like music or art, like coloring something. Okay, and drop and drops, and then to make something is more interesting, right? We can design. Okay, when you design, the storytelling is also important. So storytelling to make the activity meaningful. Okay, so you can not just merely asking the students complete a task, but give them the reason to do that. So for example, they have someone, they have some virtual character or mascot to complete some activity. It's also a thing that you can do. Okay, so that is something that you should remember when you design the gamification for your class. And then you should you should make it sustainable and consistent. Okay, make it consistent. Okay, with the reward system. So in order to keep the student engaging with lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and many lessons after that, we should have the consistent reward system to track their result. Like you can use Classroom, you can use that Dojo. Is that they offer a reward system where you can keep track your student performance throughout the course or throughout the semester. Because if you just design the gamification for one time, like use for this lesson, and after that it's over, I don't think it's worth. It's how to make it sustainable, how to make it happen continuously. So we need to have the proper reward system. And then normally on classing, when we teach on tutoring, we offer like if they get 100 trophy, okay, I give them say toys such as a cars, toys, okay. Or if they get 500 trophy, so I can like give them storybook. So you can also decide the reward system for your student to encourage them to like earn point and reach to higher levels. Yeah, so that is something that I want to share with the class today. Okay, thank you for still staying with me after like 2 hours long. So now I think we can use like maybe 10 or 20 minutes for Q&A, and we can give me some question. Okay, thank you. So if you have any questions, you can have like about like 10 minutes for Q&A. So I'm happy to answer the question. Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much.
We would like to share our big thanks for your great presentation. Now we are happy to receive any questions that you may have for our presenter. You can type it in the chat box.
Yeah, you can type or you can raise your hand to speak, whatever. That's one thing I guess I really love at Classrooms is quite like all-in-one platforms. So when I prepare for this presentation, it's really struggle for me when I decide which platform I may use, because on Zoom, when I want to create interaction, I need to use a different platforms such as like Mentimeter, and then I use Kahoot and then we see before, but you know, for the size of the class is about like 100 participants, it's going to be hard for me to host the questions on Kahoot or Wizards, because if I do that, I need to pay like $36 to $80 in order to use like the premium version. So it's also maybe a challenge for many teachers to do that. And then when I need to like do the brainstorming, I need to use Padlet for brainstorming the answer, another tool. Why it's okay to have different tools to cater different activity, but however, it's going to be really challenge for a teacher to manage different tools in just one lesson. So for Classroom, it's the good thing for this platform is you can have only one platform that you can make the interactive lesson. And one more thing, I can create a games with PowerPoint only, because I know it's like we get YouTube with PowerPoint, so it's gonna be easy for us to create a slide or activity on this one, and Classroom support PowerPoint pretty well and make it really interactive. So that's the one thing that I like as well. Yeah, so you know, I think I never thought before, but now I can understand how painful when on the market there's too many tools for a teacher. But you know, from the student perspective, and especially for the young learners, I just want to give everything just in one platform. So it simplifies the teaching process, and as a teacher, I can focus on teaching rather than like repairing a lot of things like link and share with you. So right here, I see there's one question like, I don't know how to get the games. Thank you, question from Kim. Yeah, so for the games, I would like to suggest some platforms that you consider. The first one I think is FAP.com. Why I prefer this platform? The first one is open source, so it should be free. The second one, you can feel free to create whatever you want. It provides different many games activities like matching, like image drag and drops, like puzzles, crosswords, and even they have speed assessment. So it quite really powerful platform, and you can host different games on this. Let me show you.
All right, thank you very much. I just received a question for you in the chat box. Is lesson free for teachers? And in the coloring activity, do the students need the second screen to launch the coloring?
Okay, thank you for your question. For that part, actually not, because on Classroom, the student no need to use any other platform, just use Classroom only. For example, I have a drawing board right here. 1 second. I need to open.
All right, class. Hey, class. I want you.
This game.
One more slide. Okay, it's right here. For example, I have these pictures. For example, I just opened one platform called Small Blackboard. It's right here. I don't know whether you can see Small Blackboard from my site. It's right here. Okay. So there's one platform on Classroom we call like small Blackboard. So when it just like you print the handout and you gave it to your student in offline class, so on Classroom you can do that. So choose a small drawing board right here. You page the picture into the small drawing board and you press hand down to give a student, so your student can get it. So no need to open any new window. So I would do it. I do it for you, and then I will share from student point of view how this what we see. Okay, 1 second. Okay. I reinsert the picture first to repair. Then I open the small blackboard. I paste the picture to the small blackboard. I press handout, and from the student, they will see it. Okay. 1 second. Okay, you see my screen, right? So I as a student, I opened Classroom. Okay, and then it will synchronize the class content on these platforms, and then I can draw a door on it. Maybe you can see it because Classroom stopped you from seeing. Okay, I think I will find a way. I try to share my screen one more time. Okay. 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 Can you see my screen now? No. Black, right?
Yeah, it's black now.
Yeah. The reason because Classroom they revent the third party to recording their screen. That's why. But don't worry, I already taken a picture, so I will share again. Okay. 1 second. Okay, taking the picture already. Let's say it. Oh, this doesn't work. I think because I stop you know, the privacy of the Apple that I using stop me from sharing on Zoom. That's why. So sorry for that.
That's fine.
Okay.
Good then. I also just received another question from Chị Trang, and this is direct question. Can I read this for you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So she asked, do you think that parents can use this app to teach their children at home?
I think for the parents, if they have kids at home, they shouldn't use these platforms, because if they hide tutors, for example, for homeschooling, it could be make sense for them to do that. But if they are teaching their kids, I would suggest they could consider some other platform like Khan Academy for kids. So it's gonna be more, it will design for the parent to teach rather than Classroom, because Classroom is more likely to suitable for a tutoring center or like after school tutoring. For example, you are an English teacher, you're looking for a platform to teach English for your student after school, you can use Classroom. But if you are parents, you want to teach your kids, no need to use Classroom. You can use some apps like Khan Academy for Kids, or you can use Lingo Kit or Monkey Junior.
Yeah.
So those platforms gonna be designed for self-learning and kids friendly and kids safe. So I think it will be more effective than Classic. Yeah. And this one is the screenshot of my student screen. This is the screenshot of my student screen. When I hand out a picture in previous question about coloring, on their phone, they will see this is the user interface on their mobile phone, and then they can use different tones right here to draw a picture. So this is how it works for coloring question. Yeah.
Okay, we have another question in the chat box. Which stage of teaching should we integrate those games?
Which stage of teaching should we integrate those games? So stage of teaching could be generic terms. So I would like to say normally the gamifications can applicable for different types of student. You can apply gamification for kid or for adult is totally fine. It depends, but the mechanisms for each type of student could be different. For young learner, for kids, it should be cute. It could be place more. It requires more storytelling to encourage them to engage with the lesson. So in terms of the game design, we need to design the games which is like meet the requirement. It should be cute. It should be a simple. Okay, don't make it too complicated. Don't make it too complicated, otherwise kids won't understand. So especially for online, so for kid teaching, You try to make it cute, make it simple, and have a appealing story to encourage the student to believe in the mission or the vision that they are do. For example, like I mentioned, normally I use a consistent mascot, mascot or a virtual character, such as like you can use a Pokemon, you can use animes, you can use Doraemon, special, for example, and based on that you can make up the story. Okay, so for on Platin, I often use the consistent mascot. This is this lion. So I search lion mascot on the internet, and then I just use it over and over. Okay, so build it into like the partner companion for my student. So this lion will cooperate, will like side by side with my student on learning and help my student learn better. This mascot, this lion will be their friend, and the kid can help this lion by completing the activity. For example, right here, I have a story like, oh, today the lion is driving home. However, like the road was damaged. So Lee helps him to build the road by completing this question. So that's the answer of the story. I make up so to encourage my student to participate, because the lion, their friend, needs their help, right? So you should help him because the lion is in trouble, and he is your friend. So that is for kids, how we do. But for adult, like for university student, right? So it's more practical. So it should be for adult student, I have many practical reward. For example, I have a plus point. Have plus point if they answer the question correctly. So have plus point, for example, after class. So the points will be added up into their GPA or the final score, and I also have like the certificate. So in order to validate their achievement, so in terms of the rewards, this is the difference in terms of like the rewards I gave to them, and also I can start with some more complicated process, such as like I have ranking, have levels, we will have a stackable challenge. Stackable challenge means like you complete challenge 1, you will see the challenge 2, and if you complete challenge 2, it will like merge 2 challenge into the final score. So something like that, or you need to complete challenge 1 in order to do challenge 2, for example. So in terms of the stage stitching, I think the one thing we need to remember right here is the target student that we serving, we teaching, what target student that we are teaching, and to design the proper games for kids. It should be simple. Don't make it complicated. Please don't make it complicated. Everyone loves simplicity. So make it simple, make it cute, and have an appealing story to encourage the student to take action. For adult student, that's more practical. So I should prepare practical reward. I can start with more challenging process, because for adult student, they need challenge, much more challenge, and make it that they feel difficult to achieve, so that they will try harder. So that is my sharing. How often should we ask students to play games? Actually, we can do through. For me, when I teach, I use the games for every lesson that I have. So like for every lesson I teach, I often use those games. Why? Because for example, there one course called Flyers like Rep. So we have this is 3 month course, and there are 36 lessons. So so for this course, I have the games for every lesson that I learned, so they can play different games for every lesson. You can reuse again, you can change the content. It's all fine. And then I have the leaderboard to track to track the progress, and then the one who like the winners could get like a gift from me. So it's not just you add one games in one lesson, but it should be a system. It should be the whole system, like lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and then we summarize on the score. We calculate on the score for throughout 36 lessons in order to give the final result. So the student will be motivated to try hard for every lesson and for the whole course if they want to achieve the gift and unlock some new reward. So by doing that way, it's have the student to keep engaging. Okay, so please, that's one thing when I talking about gamification is the system, right? That's one thing I'm talking about is the system. So we should have the system, the system gamification to right here. So it has a system gamification to make it the games is not just fun, but also relevant to your learning outcome and sustainable. This means the student will keep try hard for every lesson. It's not just for one lesson. So that is my answer to over the question. How often should we ask students to play games? Yeah, if we have, we should start with lesson first, but we should have like the bigger vision about for the whole courses. Yeah, we have the final rewards for the task course to set the goal for this course. Okay, guys, let's try hard. Don't skip class if you like participate 36 lessons, you will get like one score or one reward, for example. So we establish some rule like this, and so that they will try hard. They will be on time. It depends on the learning outcome that you want to achieve. That that is my sharing. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Right now, I can see Sung Huang just raise her or his hand. Do you want to raise your voice up? Please unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me, right? Okay, thank you. Dear Young, thank you for your sharing. I do have, I think, 2 questions related to rewards, because I see that in your talk, you mentioned quite a lot about rewards and reward system. So in your opinion, how important are rewards to gamification in learning? And if it is, what reward features do you recommend that it should be available? Then the gamification going to be effective in learning. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Yeah, so I in the past before I started teaching, I don't think the word's important, but actually when I start teaching, and then especially when I worked with many young learners, I feel that the motivation, the need to show off yourself, to defy yourself, to self-actualization is really high. For my learners, a trophy I give to them on classing is making them happier than any like material rewards that they could earn. So because they get recognized, because by doing this way, my student will get recognized, especially for many young learners, K-12 students, for example, when they are in stage as a teenager, they want to defy themselves, they want to show off themselves, they want to be recognized. So the virtual rewards like a trophy or the badges or the certificate is okay. I have in many class, when I forgot to give my student one trophy, they get angry with me. So you can see it's not about money, right? It's not about any material, but it's about like the mental reward. It's about being recognized is important for the young learner, and this desire is also true for adult learners as well. For university students, they also have that demand to be recognized. So that's why we should have the reward system, because we want to play it fair and we want to be transparent. So if we have the rewards like Classing or Class Dojo do, will help the student to track everything, and also it's more transparent, and also it's motivate the student to try harder, because I know, for example, I'm Wihar. I got one trophy only. My friends got 2 or 3. I will have the desire to be like them, so we try harder. It will reinforce the positive action. And when I answer correct question, when I raise a really good question, I can give them a trophy, and by that's why I will reinforce constantly, unconsciously, this behavior, and establish the norm for my class. So yeah, for me, the trophy no need in terms of material, no need to be toys, no need to be like some physical reward, but it could be mental. And I think for virtual rewards is more valuable and feasible for teacher to store, because it shows them, okay, I'm getting rewards because I'm successful in complete something and was recognized. So for example, we are teacher, we knows about like Microsoft or innovative educator, right? So when you join these programs, when you complete the learning resources, you can earn the certificate that you are Microsoft Innovator Educator. And do you get any money from it? The answer is no. You don't get any money when you are the Microsoft Innovative Educator. However, you feel proud of yourself, right? And many teachers, they try hard to get this title. So that Microsoft didn't pay any money or any financial reward for them to achieve it. But being recognized, to me, is more effective and more sustainable. So that, with that principle in mind, I think you can design the proper rewards for your class, depend on their age, depend on their need. But for me, being recognized is more important, especially for online learning. Yep.
All right, we still have one more question from Mai Anh.
Yeah, sure.
How can I use these games for group work and pair work in my online classes.
Yeah. Nice. I think for when we design the group activity, I would like to share my own experience. So the things right here is, you design the group activity effectively. The first one is you need to encourage the collaboration. Okay, so how to do that? How to do that? It's the task you assign to them, need to ask them to collaborate, to complete. This could be brainstorming. This would be brainstorming a plan, or any idea, or it could be solving the problems, which requires everyone to type, such as I give them different words. I give them different words like eat, like nice, beautiful, beauty, and then I ask them. Okay, so I ask them to like sort it out. I give them problems like sort it out, okay, to the right word forms. So I need to sort it into noun, adjective, or verb, right? So now they need to collaborate with each other, like because I give them many words. So I give them a lot of words that they need to collaborate with each other. Otherwise, they couldn't complete it on time. So that is the thing when I design the group activity. Of course, we can have pair words to practice speaking. It's obvious, but the best way to encourage the collaboration is give them the task they need to brainstorm it, or they need to like join hand to complete it together. So this one example in how I give them the group activity, or you can give them like jigsaw. It's a puzzle. So that they need to like drop and drop to make it into a right picture. So this one also like encourage the teamwork a lot. So yeah, for the group, not just I think the point the point is many people, many teachers just gathers the student together, and that's it. I think this doesn't work because just one or two students they actually do the task. For the other, they just sit there and wait until the time is over. So so I refer something in terms of like encourage on the student to participate into the activity. Otherwise, they couldn't get. Sorry for my wrong, my like typos. Okay, this is a jigsaw puzzle. So this is something like that, and you can do it online because there's some system or software like book widgets. They also support you to create a puzzle like this. Okay, so again, in short, the task activity you need to carefully design to encourage the collaboration, because I think it's not about right or wrong, but about the choice, the happiness when everyone work together, and no matter that you successful or fail, you still feel happy because you already work together. So that is make the group activities more meaningful. So the first one is encourage the collaboration. The second one is the presentation. How so normally on the current solution, when they group together, the way to present their discussion is not really convenient. So that's the second one that I think when we design the group activity is thinking about how my student will present their result. So for example, you need to provide the worksheet so that they can type in, they can or you need to give a careful instruction before you start a breakout rooms, how they will present their discussion. Because I witnessed many cases when you just randomly ask the student into different groups, and then when they finish discussion, they got nothing, and they cannot share their discussion. So that is the thing to make group activity effective. I think how you plan the group presentation after finish the discussion is also important. This means that require you to prepare the materials and worksheet and also the rules how they're going to do. And then the last one is grouping plan. Maybe you will notice that in the class there's some active members and non-active member, right? So how you can mix those members together, it will be helps you have a healthy group rather than like just use random grouping plan provided by the software. You should to know your student and group the right student together. So a healthy group should have active student to stimulate the conversation and encourage inactive member to join. Not just like a group just full of inactive members and full of like inactive members, and therefore grouping plan is also a thing that we need to consider carefully. It's convenient to use a random feature provided by Zoom or Teams. But however, when you teach the class, you follow the class for a long time. I still suggest that you or Zoom or Team they support say group. So you say the grouping plan and you can reuse it. And in that group, you know which one will be the leader so that they can have the discussion more effective. So that answers my observation when we start to use breakout rooms online, and something that we can do better.
All right, thank you very much. We still have one more question in the chat box. What would you like to say to encourage students if they answer incorrectly?
What would you like to say to encourage students if they answer incorrectly? For I used to have an interesting story to tell. It is when I start the test, and I start a test for my student, and then there are four pictures. And the student needs to pick. One odd else, like the one picture which is different from other three pictures. Could be say maybe other two pictures is fruit and this picture is animal, for example. So I used to do a test, and then the correct answer obviously is C, but then the student to A, and then normally I would say, oh, you're wrong, the answer should be C, but then he explained to me why he think A is correct, and it totally makes sense to me. So the point right here is, I refer, and we can refer listening to the explanation of the student, because their perspective sometimes really are different and make sense as well. So so that's why even though when we give when we give the student a multiple choice question, I know this student have incorrect answer, but I still refer to bring them to the spotlight to ask them give me the explanation, because who know they's gonna have different perspective compared to me, or what we've been taught, and it will encourage like creative thinking for your students as well. So that story remind me that the kid, our student, is super creative, and they can discover many different angles that we don't see. I think is like create a safe and democratic environment is the objective at the end, where we can listen many interesting idea that we never able to listen in the past. If we just stick with the correct answer, if I just stick with okay, C is the correct answer for this question, I will never discover another angle, which is also true. So that is my answer. I know it's not fully satisfy your question, but I hope that it gives you a food for thought about what we right and what was wrong in the class, and then be more open to that. Okay. All right. I think the time is up. So thank you so much for spending time on Friday with me today. And thank you so much. I wish you have a nice weekend. And don't forget to join other session tomorrow. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your great presentation. Due to the limited time, we cannot include all of the questions in the Q&A sessions. So you can email the presenters directly later on. On behalf of VIC 2021, we wish you all the best with the productive day and meaningful rest of our virtual convention. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you.